Welcome to the Show Day Podcast. Today's July 18th, 2019. We had one show on the schedule last night. It was in Augusta, New Jersey, an all-open class show with 7 cores. Unfortunately, that show did get rained out. Heavy precipitation moved through the North Jersey region last night, so that show got canceled. But tonight, we've got 3 shows. We've got Texas Tour starting. We've got 2 shows there in Denton and Belton. And we've also got an all-open class show on the West Coast in Riverside, California. So a lot to get to today, even though we didn't see any action last night. Still a lot of action up tonight. And really tonight just propels us into the weekend and tomorrow and then Saturday with the big day, the Southwestern Championship, and then, of course, that'll lead us into the rest of the season. So I'll go over that plus more today on the Show Day podcast. Before I look at today and the slate for today, though, I want to take a look at the leaderboards, both DCI World Class, Open Class, and kind of what's setting up to be for this Thursday. And at the top, after Broken Arrow, reminder, Tuesday, Broken Arrow, biggest show of the season so far, top 8 from last year, plus Phantom. And we saw the Bluecoats come out on top, 89.375. You had the Blue Devils in second, 88.725. 6.5 tenths separating those two. I'm sure that will go up, that will go down. Maybe the Blue Devils will pass them. Maybe Vanguard will even get up there as they add more into the show. But definitely, as a first look at how they all fare against each other, it really let us see a lot. And, I mean, moving down here, you've got Vanguard there, as I said, 88.05. It's 1.325 back of where the Bluecoats are right now. I'm sure that, I mean, whether you look at staff, whether it's design, instructional, admin, whatever, and then also the members, I'm sure that they want to be up there. They want to have their name announced in first place. But when you're down in third, I think it's something that really they haven't experienced lately. I mean, you think 2017 they were on the rise up, so really any placements they could get above where they were the past few seasons was good. Last year, kind of go out there and just pretty much win everything after they lost to the Blue Devils a few times. And now this year, kind of not struggling. They're not struggling. They're just at they're at this top 3 level. There's just something not clicking where something is clicking for both the Bluecoats and Blue Devils. I mean, the other piece of this, I guess you could say, is Vanguard's not, even if they're out of the gold medal contention, which I don't necessarily think they are, but I think the next 2 weeks will tell us if they are. I mean, they're not out of the conversation for the silver medal. We've seen them win against the Blue Devils. We've also seen them come as close to a tenth behind them lately. So really, they're not out of the hunt at all. We've also got another group, and I think the Cavaliers can be kicked out of this. So you've got Crown and you got Boston. Boston's got to add stuff. If they don't fix the whole Goliath dying scene, they're not going to be able to move up, because it's not a good part of the show. Really takes away from the meaning. And then you get down here, the 7 through 11 range. At any given night, a core can finish above another. You also have this finalist battle, not a whole lot there right now, though. And when we look at the open class side of things, really the next few days, as we end this weekend, are the last days I'm going to be taking a look at this all 24 leaderboard. Because, I mean, you've got most of these cores finishing up this weekend. You've got Blue Devils B, Vanguard Cadets, more. You've got Encore, I'm just using them as an example. They only have one more show. You've got all these California cores, not just Blue Devils B and Vanguard Cadets, but really all these non-championship open class cores are ending their seasons fairly soon. So really, as we move into the next few weeks, I'm going to really start showing the championship leaderboard, because at the end of the day, as really this national tour starts for these cores, you think when they get out in the Midwest and you have shows in like Cape Girardeau and Oskaloosa, and I know those corps that are touring the East, you say 7th Regiment, Spartans, Legends are all heading up to New Hampshire this weekend. They do a few shows in the Northeast. So really, as these corps continue and all meet up pretty much within a week or so, I'm going to really stop looking at everybody and just take a look at those championship corps. Augusta last night, I was really looking forward to the results, especially when you look at the Legends and Spartans, and then you throw Southwind in there, and then you have those last four. How would they all fare last night? We didn't get to see that, but we'll get to see that this weekend. And really, Legends Spartans is '1 battle. '2 battle is undoubtedly Southwind versus 7th Regiment. That's a very interesting head to head. That Southwind's on the way up. 7th Regiment's kind of stayed at the same level of excellence or success or whatever you want to call it year in and year out. So really those two corps I think are going to match up pretty well. And as I've been saying, even if the world class stuff doesn't turn out to be as competitive as maybe we want it to be, even though I'm sure it's going to, especially that 7 through 11 range, open class is definitely not necessarily wide open at the top, but when you look throughout, you've got this top three, you've got this next chunk, Southwind, 7th Regiment, Riverside, Rhythm, and more, and then you also have this very intense battle for finals, so really a lot we're going to be seeing here. Just a few other things I want to point out here, and really the big thing is we haven't seen anybody in the past few days, and we'll see a lot, of course, tonight, whether it's Riverside, Guardians, or in Belton, and other corps throughout the weekend as well. Tonight, as I said, 3 shows on the schedule. First up is DCI Central Texas in Belton, Texas. This show is presented by Flow Marching. Lineup and times are here. 7 o'clock, Welcome and National Anthem. 7:10, we've got sound support group Compass from Midland, Texas. Midland, Texas is of course, western Texas, kind of in the middle of nowhere. But it is a pretty, not big city, but a pretty large area for that town. After Compass goes, which I'm looking forward to seeing them because they are really one of these up-and-coming sound sport groups. And if you can put out a quality production, this is like their 2nd or 3rd year, they're definitely set up for success, especially if their goal is to maybe go open class in a few seasons. A corps that has gone through the sound sport program, now an open class corps obviously for a few years, has been the Guardians. From Houston, Texas, they'll be on 2nd this evening. 5 world-class corps then take to the field. We've got Jersey Surf, Genesis, Music City, the Madison Scouts, and Spirit of Atlanta. 9:09 Central Time and Encore at 9:34 scores are announced. I kind of hinted at this. Obviously, you can watch live on Flow Marching. I'm a little disappointed. I guess you could say in Flow Marching because first they don't broadcast Broken Arrow the other night, which really is one of the best shows of the season overall. And now tonight we have this Denton show I'm going to go over in a second, but they really choose to broadcast this show. So I'm sure there's something behind it, especially the sponsorship of this event. Just a little bit of disappointment, I guess you could say, in them as a drum corps fan. What are we looking for at this show? And this is another reason I'm like, what's even the point? Spirit of Atlanta, they're 13th. They're not going down. I will guarantee you they're going to finish 13th or maybe 12th if they can figure some things out. They're not going down. You've got Madison and Music City. That's not really a battle. Madison's going to be 2nd. Music City's going to be 3rd. Genesis Jersey Surf's very interesting, but again, that's a battle for like 24th overall. Like, not awesome, this show. So, unfortunately, this is all we got tonight. Obviously, I'll be watching because I haven't seen some of these scores. I haven't seen Genesis in a few weeks. Music City, I thoroughly enjoy that show somewhat. And want to see the improvements, of course, in Jersey Surf, Madison Scouts, and then I've not seen Spirit of Atlanta live, or at least internet live so far this season. So I'll be looking forward to seeing them tonight. The second show, and even though we can't watch this, it is a very, very good event. We've got 9 finalists, 9 predicted finalists at this one. We've got some very intense battles outside of that, so let's just run through. 6:50 Central Time, Welcome National Anthem. By the way, this show is at the University of North Texas. Vanguard's been at that site for the past 2 days. They were there yesterday. They're there today practicing, so just an extra tidbit about this. This is a new site to the tour this year. Really, this was one of the big additions to the schedule that DCI made, because really they'd outgrown the other Denton facility, the C.H. Collins Athletic Complex. So really now they've moved it to a university. I'm sure they're not going to run out of room here. So anyway, 6:50 Welcome National Anthem, 7 o'clock Sound Sport, Lone Star Drum and Bugle Corps from Fort Worth, Texas, another corps. Looking forward to see. I'm thinking they're at San Antonio, not sure though. Then you look at world class. You've got Pacific Crest, you've got the Troopers, Colts, the Academy, Phantom Regiment, Mandarins, and Crossmen before intermission. All that just before intermission. What can we look for here? Let's really take them in groups. You've got Pacific Crest. They've been beating the Troopers consistently by 1 or 2 points a night. And now that you mix those two, let's say them with the Colts, what's going to come out of that? Very interesting, Pacific Crest and the Colts. I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe if the Troopers have made some changes, maybe they can slide in there as well. You've also got the Academy, and I know they're below the Colts, but they've been coming. Those first 4 at this event, you've got Pacific Crest through the Academy. That is a very interesting battle. And even though it might not mean things this year, that could definitely mean things when we look at the future for these corps, because let's say the Academy finished 14th, that's better than finishing 17th at the bottom of this group. So, really just one thing here. Another thing, you've got Phantom Regiment, Mandarins, Crossmen just before the intermission. Phantom, they've got another shot at the Mandarins. They've got another shot at the Crossmen. I'm not sure they're up to either of them. The Mandarins passed the Crossmen the other night in El Dorado. So really, how do those 3 fare is going to be a good question. I think Phantom will be on the bottom of the group, but definitely Mandarins and Crossmen, an interesting battle there. The second half of this event after the intermission, we've got the Cadets, Blue Knights, Carolina Crown, the Cavaliers, Boston Crusaders, and Santa Clara Vanguard. 3 of these corps have been together. You throw Mandarins and Crossmen in here, and that's the show we saw at El Dorado. Those 3 corps I mentioned are the Cadets, Blue Knights, and Santa Clara Vanguard. So just starting at the top here, Cadets, Blue Knights, again, an interesting battle. Cadets 4/10ths back, I believe, the other night in El Dorado. So if they can close in on the Blue Knights, maybe even pass them, just as long as the Blue Knights don't stretch that lead out too much to like 6, 7, 8/10ths, because that should be fine for right now as they continue to add things in. I saw their new ending on video the other night from Broken Arrow. Definitely an improvement. I'll have to see it again because it wasn't necessarily the highest quality video. And really, if they can just kind of get everything to line up in that show, they should be fine. Look at these final 4 corps here. We've got Carolina Crown, the Cavaliers, Boston Crusaders, Santa Clara Vanguard. Crown, they're above the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are going to be below them. So you've got Cavaliers in 4th at this one. Then we've got Crown, Boston. Boston did not have a show yesterday. Could they have potentially added some things in? Just something to think about with that show. And then also Vanguard. I know they've got the tarps on the field. I think that might have been their big thing. Like, we need to get that on the field. And they have it now. So what will they be able to do? What changes will they be able to make? All those questions they'll answer over the coming days. And then 11-16 scores announced. Just one other piece here. Very hot in Denton and Belton. Obviously, Texas Tour every year, very hot. As long as it's not going to rain, which I don't think it is here, they should be fine. I know last year they did a non-uniform show. It was like corps went out t-shirts and shorts. I hope that's definitely not the case this year, but it's hot. Of course, participant safety is DCI's #1 thing, with making sure the performers are all being able to perform in the best conditions possible. If that's not wearing the uniforms and just going out in t-shirts and shorts, sure, let's let's support the decision, I guess. The third and final show I referenced earlier is the Riverside Open in Riverside, California. This is at RCC, Riverside Community College, of course, one of the top indoor percussion groups in the U.S. So, first half of the show, we've got a sound support performance by Phenom. Then we've got 5 open class scores: Impulse, Incognito, Vessel, Watchman, and the Battalion. An intermission at 8:05, followed by at 8:35 Golden Empire, and then these final 3 Blue Devils B, Vanguard Cadets, and Gold before scores are announced somewhere around 9:45 Pacific time. What are we looking for here? Vanguard Cadets and Blue Devils B. Including this show, they've got 3 shows left. Can Vanguard catch and pass Blue Devils B before it's too late and the season's over? Gold, they're there in third. Can they get any closer, though? And definitely you want to hit 60 if you're Gold tonight. Golden Empire, keep moving up. 63, 64, 65, definitely the marks you want to hit. The Battalion, they join in here. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they score. Can they get up there with Golden Empire and maybe even Gold and do well against them? And then you've also got the Watchmen, Vessel, Incognito, Impulse, scores that finish up their seasons this weekend or soon thereafter. So how can they make the most of this final stretch of the season? That's definitely something they'll be able to somewhat answer tonight. Thank you for watching the podcast today. Just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours. Scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Drum Corps Geek, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Show Day Podcast, where this podcast and more will be posted. Finally, leave your thoughts in the comment sections, questions, input, comments, etc. All greatly appreciated. And finally, I did make my second mid-season review post yesterday on a few more corps. I know I said yesterday I would, so I did. Blue Devils are in that, Cavaliers are in that, Academy, Cadets are one of them, and a few others. So be sure to check that out. That's on my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. I'll also attach the link in the description of the video, and if you go on the website, you'll be able to see where it says blog. Just click there, and it'll show you. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and tonight's competitive storylines, as long as the shows go on, will definitely make for a very interesting Friday morning of conversation. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.